Just a heads up, I'm going to have full spoilers for Spider-Man Brand New Day in this review. I noticed other channels had 30 plus minutes to hour long reviews. This ain't going to be that long. I'm hoping to cut most of the fluff out, no flashy editing. Got back from the movie about an hour ago, got the kiddos down for bed and realized that it was going on midnight, so I knew I needed to kind of get my thoughts out there and get this video recorded. I'll be completely honest, I'm notoriously bad for suffering from recency bias. So that said, I really feel that this is my favorite MCU Spider-Man entry so far. I know the Tom Holland entries have their detractors, but I've really been enjoying his time in the MCU overall. For reference, when it comes to live-action Spider-Man films, my favorite is Spider-Man 2, and my favorite MCU entry before tonight would have been Homecoming. I really love No Way Home, but over the years, I've come to realize that so much nostalgia drives my love for that particular film, and I'm honestly scared to reevaluate where it would fall with a critical mind today. Anyway, we're here for Spider-Man Brand New Day. I've got to say, making Jean Grey the pseudo-main antagonist of not only a Spider-Man movie, but also her long-awaited MCU debut was a very bold choice, and I appreciated how out of left field it was. I had a few minutes to see what others online were saying before I started recording, and it seems the main detractions I saw regarding this were surrounding a non-Spider-Man character being the villain, and also Scorpion not being the main villain, which I don't think there's any world where Scorpion is the solo main villain of a 2.5 hour long Spider-Man movie, at least not this far into the MCU when he's so well established. I didn't have John Bernthal as Punisher being the primary comic relief in this film on my bingo card, but here we are, I guess. I told my wife as we were leaving the theater that I know his portrayal was going to piss off a lot of Punisher fans, but so far I haven't really seen anything negative being said, but I also, again, it was just a couple minutes of looking. I didn't do too much searching. I've just kind of come to accept that the MCU version of Punisher is a very different beast from the comics, like a lot of these MCU translations, and I'm able to appreciate them separately, I guess. I didn't think they could really make him work in a PG-13 setting, but for all intents and purposes, they really did, at least as far as the MCU version is concerned. When the movie opens up, Frank and Spider-Man already have some history together and play off each other well, and honestly, the only thing I was a little iffy on with Frank was his final scene, coming off maybe a bit too jokey, at least compared to his characterization in the MCU thus far. It was nice seeing him get to not just be a complete asshole to somebody for once, though. Hulk definitely wasn't utilized as much as the trailers would have someone believe, but his transformation into Savage Hulk was probably the first time I've ever felt afraid of him in my time watching him in the MCU. I think the last time I even remotely felt that way was when he was chasing Black Widow on the helicarrier back in the Avengers. I kind of wish maybe he had a little bit more to do, but Frank pretty much already took the spot for the MCU guest character in this one, so I get it. And maybe it's on me and I just haven't done my homework, but I guess I missed where Bruce was suddenly requiring an inhibitor since I thought he and Hulk had made peace with each other, or maybe it was literally explained in Brand New Day and I just missed it. I have a terrible short-term memory, I'm sorry. With guest stuff out of the way, let's get to the Spidey of it all. I was not prepared to feel just how lonely Peter has been for 4 years since we last saw him. He's thrown himself into his Spider-Man life and has almost foregone every bit of Peter Parker. I like the movie's explanation for his powers starting to essentially evolve as he's gotten older and his body is processing the changes, and also all the stress he's been under just being Spider-Man nonstop. I don't know how I feel about not getting Man-Spider though. I know how I feel. Obviously, you can't do too much in this movie. I get it. I really wanted to get Man-Spider, though, even if just for the third act. But as I was watching the movie, I realized it just wasn't going to work with the kind of movie that they were going for. And you know what? That's fine. Maybe his whole "I've found the balance within myself" thing won't last, and Man-Spider will show up in Secret Wars. I don't know. He won't. I like the little montage we got at the beginning showing the different fights with the Hand, Scorpion, all that good stuff. And I was so excited for Tombstone going into the movie, but honestly, the VFX on his face were so wonky that if that's how they were going to do it, maybe it's best that he just stays as a cameo for now. Maybe, just maybe, the next solo Spidey movie will be a true street-level gang war story or something, and we'll get to see more of him there with a proper face. Probably not, but a man can dream. Speaking of the Hand, oh my god, their choreography was so comic booky and not even remotely grounded, and I loved every second of it. These mofos are double jumping off of each other, linking up like a human fence and throwing themselves around. It was awesome. My biggest issue with them is that they did not feel like the Hand we know from Daredevil and the Defenders, which now that those are completely canon to the MCU, it just seems odd how divorced they felt from each other. At the beginning of the movie, Damage Control has taken the Hand in and claims that they're basically just a street gang of kids that needed a sense of purpose, and it's I didn't get that at all in the shows that featured injured them, but again, I don't know, whatever. When No Way Home wrapped, I remember seeing comments that people didn't want Ned and MJ to return in the next installment, and honestly, had Brand New Day taken place like immediately after No Way Home, I could see that, but with the 4 years built in with them going off to college at MIT and now being back in the city, I have no issue with them coming back. Peter's scenes with the both of them honestly felt like I was getting back together with old friends, even when they had no true knowledge of who he was. And the scene where Jean is possessing MJ on the rooftop and has her kiss Peter was just diabolical. And maybe if I wasn't so damn tired right now, I'd get into how it also really wasn't cool of Jean to take over someone's body and do that. Speaking of, during Jean's big like body hopping race scene to MJ's apartment, she takes over a guy, walks him into the street, and he's violently struck by a car. Did that guy die? Is he just fucked up for life now? Like, why didn't you check on him, Spidey? That last bit is going to age really well when you see my next video where I absolutely demolish another Spider-Man for some similar shit. So yeah, with only having seen the movie once and nobody really bounced my thoughts off of at the moment, that's all I've really got for now. I do want to point out the absolute worst part of Brand New Day though, and that was the teenager sitting next to me and his mom who would not shut the fuck up during the entirety of the movie and constantly had their phones out, while also simultaneously acting like they liked what they were seeing in the movie. I don't know, man. As I get older, it gets harder and harder to justify spending the money I do to go to the theaters for a subpar viewing experience, but it's like, how can I not go see the newest Spider-Man on the big screen? I don't know. It fucking sucks, and it seems like in other countries, like I remember when Endgame came out and, you know, everyone was cheering and stuff during the big scene with Cap and Mjolnir. People over in Britain seem like that's almost an exclusively American thing, and honestly, during Endgame, something like that didn't bother me because it's just like contained to these, you know, these big crowd pleaser scenes, I guess. But when it's the entire movie and you won't shut up, it just sucks, man. Like, I paid to be here, you paid to be here. Why the fuck are we doing this? Maybe one day when it comes out digitally, I can do a revisit to see if my thoughts have changed. But for now, you know, taking this as a comic book action movie, I really, really enjoyed it, and it shot up to the top of Spidey's MCU outings for me. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and if you disagree, or if you're one of those people that really just hate the MCU version of Spider-Man, just be civil, dog. That's all I ask. That's all I got. Till next time, see ya. Bye.